Welcome in, everybody. It is the Mountaineers Now postgame show. I'm Schuyler Callihan. That is Christopher Hall. West Virginia falling to Radford 66-65. Quick look here at the numbers. RaeQuan Battle in his official Mountaineer debut goes for 29 points, leads all scorers, 9 of 22 from the field, 6 rebounds. Took him a little bit to get going, but once he did, boy, he showed that offensive firepower that the Mountaineers so desperately need. Noah Farrakhan in just his second game, 16 points and 7 rebounds. As a team, though, West Virginia really struggled to shoot it, particularly from three. In the first half, they were 0 for 10 from beyond the arc. They finished the game 4 of 21. In their first game without Jesse Edwards, they were out-rebounded 46-38, and Daquan Smith led the way for Radford, 18 points. And, oh, yeah, by the way, he hit the game winner, Chris. This was a tough one, a loss that they could not afford whatsoever because of the record, the resume so far. We talked about it following the UMass game. They probably needed to go 3-0 in this stretch, and at worst 2-1. And with Ohio State still being one of the next 2 games, it's not looking too good right now.
Yeah, I don't know what sins West Virginia committed in a past life, but this is brutal. They just can't catch a break no matter what. Jesse's out. You lose on just the kid just threw it up.
Did he potentially carry travel? Like,
no,
I don't know.
If you lose control, it's not a travel. So he didn't travel.
Okay. You may have had a much better angle than I had, but
yeah, once you lose control of the ball, like you can't bobble it all the way down the floor, but if you lose it hits the floor, he couldn't have dribbled it again. But it's what it is. I mean, they have to figure out how to rebound without Jesse. They weren't stellar at rebounding when he was in the lineup.
Yeah, that's your point.
Eiler talked about it. It's about want to. I mean, we heard Huggins talk about it. You'll hear coaches across the country talk about it. It's just want to go get it. Noah Farrakhan had 7 rebounds. He's a little scout on the floor. He obviously wanted to win the game. So they got to figure it out. Got to get better. Got to get more out of your front court. Got to get more out of Quentin. He's been off the last 2 games. So you got to do something when it comes to rebounding. And that's really the biggest issue. They still have lapses on defense. The plus side is they're able to play up tempo with the guards. Saw a lot of positivity out of the guards tonight. But again, it's got to find a way to rebound. It's going to have to be a battle. All 5 guys in there putting a body on somebody. You're probably going to have to leak somebody out, and that's more likely Kerr. But at the same time, he may not be at the top of the key. So you just got to have a little bit of, awareness of what's going on around you and put a body on somebody and go get the ball, especially on those long shots. It's obviously going to come off the rim, probably going to go to the opposite side as well. Got to figure that one out. If you don't rebound, you're going to find a lot of large, lopsided losses come Big 12 play.
Quinn Slazinski, as you mentioned, struggled. Kirk Kriisa struggled in this one. At the half, they combined for 2 points. At the end of the game, they only combined for 7. And if that's the case, it's probably unlikely that West Virginia is going to win a game. So what has to happen if those guys can't get going? I mean, I know RaeQuan did what he did, but it feels like you're going to have to get somebody like a Seth Wilson or Josiah Harris or somebody going. But does this maybe put more pressure on the defensive end where they've kind of been inconsistent?
Well, if there wasn't pressure on the defensive end by now, there's a problem. The defense has been horrendous at times through 10 games. So yeah, they're gonna, if they can't score, they're gonna have to make stops. And Darius Nichols has done a great job at Radford, but at the same time, that's not Big 12 competition. So Radford, potentially could be a tournament team, and that's great. But you don't lose to them at home. So they got to clean up a lot of things. And yes, they're still gelling offensively, and that could be some of the issues tonight with Quinn, where Quinn really was the guy that when they needed to create a shot, Quinn was the guy. He can't disappear. It's not necessarily on him, but you got to work the ball around him. Maybe get him the ball at the foul line and let him distribute. Let him kind of look around. I mean, he's tall enough, big enough, he's a good enough passer, and if he's open, can either shoot it, drive it, pass it. That's a good spot for him to get the ball. So they got to figure it out offensively. And really, a good offense sometimes best defense. Say it a lot on here. You can put the pressure on them to have to score. and that can help you defensively because then they'll be the one forcing up shots. So yeah, it's just gonna have they have to work on both ends, and it's been really one thing after another. Kerr was suspended. RaeQuan was fighting eligibility. Now they're back on the floor. This is what Kerr's third game or second game,
Second game, yeah.
second game back. So it's only his second game back. RaeQuan's first game. Noah's second
Second
game, and
game.
that's where a lot of your minutes are coming from. So it's unfortunate because they're racking up losses as they go along, but they got to you're 2 games away from Big 12 play. You're a couple of weeks away from Big 12 play. We know you start with Houston. This is not going to get any easier. So they have to really come together. And I'm sure morale was really down right now. You lose a game like this on the final seconds. I think they were up 4 or 5 with a couple minutes left to play, and you lose it. Battle was as good as game he had tonight. Missed that front end of 1-1 and left the door wide open for them to just hit a little jumper for the win. And that's obviously not what you want at home. So, yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. You can hear and feel the frustration with the coaches and the players right now. And you hope they just get mad enough. They work really hard the next couple of days in practice and figure out the rebounding and grab another one on Saturday.
A cook, 4 points and 7 rebounds, and as he fills in for Jesse Edwards in the starting lineup again, this team's going to look much different over the next month or so. Edwards had the fractured wrist; he's going to undergo surgery, and it's
He
about
had surgery today. He had surgery
today.
today,
So yeah,
and everything went well. According to everything went well. So, that timeline could be pushed back depending on rehab. So, it is just we'll wait and see. And then when Jesse comes back, he has to get back in game shape, and that may take a couple games and get back in the flow with Jesse. So it's
and,
just
since, and since
really it's one thing after another.
and since you were just in the press conference with Josh Schuyler, did he mention anything about Kobe Johnson? Because he didn't get into the game.
Coach's decision.
Coach's decision. Interesting.
Coach's decision. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Coach's decision. So
Interesting.
that's
So
how he left it. Again, I don't know what sins were committed around here to have this
yeah,
run of luck as of late. But you can go through history where it's just like, well, Major got hurt, in '88. Pat White gets hurt in the horrendous pick game. It's just go throughout history. There's just no luck here. It's all bad. So somebody's got to burn some
and that,
sage, do something
as I
to
say,
kind of just lift this curse away.
as I always say, the law of averages, it has to come back your way at some point, right? You would think,
You
but
would think. The good thing is, you do have Country Roads Trust. They're working hard for
yeah,
football. That's in a
you just got
positive
that
direction.
half a
You would
million
think
dollar
after,
donation.
you know, this wasn't a season where they built this team. Team was pretty much built in August. So I
Band-aid
know it's
together.
frustrating, but it's just things will happen. You don't want to give up on this team by no means, but at the same time, really that mad, just kind of look ahead. There's plenty of things to be happy about with the program. They got plenty of facilities, great venue. It's definitely a place where coaches want to come coach. That's not saying Eiler won't be here next year because really, how do you judge Eiler? But he wasn't looking to be a head coach prior to the Huggins incident. So he wanted it when he got it. He's doing the best he can with the tools available, and just kind of have to see where that decision goes. But you gotta also
Yeah,
trust that there's going to be plenty of resources for them to get right back on track next season. And the, you know, it sounds crazy right now, but you get Edwards back, I think right now you just try to gel together when you get Edwards back, and this team, you can see they're talented enough to make a run if they want to. All of a sudden, it would be a wild story for the first conference championship to be this team at the end of the year to get on a run and turn and make the NCAA tournament. But hey, wilder things have happened
yes,
in college basketball. So you never want to give up on a team. Definitely don't want to give up on these guys because they're talented. They can definitely go rip off a bunch of wins here and during the conference play. But right now, you're just looking at like guys like seventh loss of the season. It's not going to get any better. And you weren't really looking at a winning record going into Big 12 play. Like you're really going to have to do a 180 when it comes to rebounding and figure. If they can get the rebounding figured out, they'll have better chances. But I haven't done a real deep dive on the rest of the Big 12. I know there's a lot of top heavy teams when you look at Kansas and Houston. But the rest of those games are going to be a grind. We know it's a grind. It's been a grind for over a decade now at this point. So just got to figure that rebounding out. free throws at the end of the games. We kind of credit that to tired legs early in the season. Can't really credit that right now. You got to, it's gonna have to kind of gut these close games out here.
Indeed. Lastly, before we wrap up here, because we're not going to have a post game show on Tuesday or Saturday unless Chris wants to do a little selfie and go live on Twitter because I won't be around. I got Christmas duties with the family, so um,
He's
I want.
already bailed on the team. That's
Yeah,
Chris.
I have.
This is
It's
it.
unfortunate. Look,
We won't
I've
see
made it through
Schuyler the rest
11
of the
games.
season.
I've dealt with enough losses in other areas, and the other two teams I covered. But anyway, I do want to get your thoughts though on
The
Noah.
Panthers won. What are you crying about? Panthers won this week.
Hey, it's
Boo-hoo.
a
Could be worse. Could be a Patriots fan.
blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. But I do want to
That
get
blind
your
squirrel needs to hop his way to freaking Boston right now.
I do want to get your thoughts on Noah Farrakhan and RaeQuan. Obviously, Noah 2 games in has looked really explosive offensively. Looks like he's going to be someone that can really help this team out, not only this year, but next year as well. And then RaeQuan showing some rust early, but figured some things out. Looked like he was pressing, don't you think, there at the first 10 or so minutes of the game?
Yeah, there's probably about a handful of shots I'm sure he'd want back where he forced. But yeah, he has a lot of length. He's lengthier than I thought he would. He's a lot of arms and legs and makes it tough on the defense. I don't want to say confused, but he was like a step behind in the 2-3 zone. And Noah plays really hard. And that's exactly what you want if you're a West Virginia fan. Guys that play hard. That's a kid that, no matter what happens this next season, hopefully he sticks around because he's kind of a guy, like a, I don't want to say a glue guy, but he's a leader type guy just with his play on the floor. So I thought Battle was, scored 29 points. I think that was a bit unexpected, but I think he forced some things. You'd like to see him score more within the offense, not just kind of take it on himself. Like if there's 5 seconds left, do your thing. But they need to find a little bit more rhythm offensively, and that's probably more that he's excited to be back, pressing too much, kind of list a variety of things with him right now. But 29 points can't really hang your head about it. And, that free throw, he said his mom's going to be mad at him for missing that free throw. So I'm sure he's going to have an earful here shortly.
I remember those days. Missed many free throw myself, but I will say too, to go back really quick on that point that you made about the facilities that this team has and the passionate fan base. This is not going to be the new norm. Don't be freaked out by it just because of how bad things may look. You may think, oh, they're going to lose guys to the portal. Look, you can repair that quickly. And
yeah, it's not like football.
Be,
you can build a team within a year or two.
Yeah.
So it's not. Basketball's a little different.
You have everything.
You want continuity, but you can get enough talent first year to be fine.
You have everything you need to be successful there at West Virginians, and I think we've seen that with the facilities. So we'll see. But West Virginia again falls to Radford 66-65. They're now 4-7 on the season. 2 non-conference games left on the docket before we turn over to the new year and into Big 12 conference play. They take on the Toledo Rockets on Saturday at 1 o'clock. That one will stream on Big 12 Now and ESPN Plus. And then they'll wrap up non-con play against Ohio State a week from then. So for Christopher Hall, I'm Schuyler Callihan. You've been watching the Mountaineers Now postgame show presented by Country Roads Air Duct Cleaning. Take me home to comfort. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Mountaineers Now and follow us on X at the same handle. Thank you for watching, everybody, and take care.